Something happens to women when they reach 40 that no one dares to admit out loud. One day, she's the calm center of your world, folding laundry, planning birthdays, keeping the house running like clockwork. The next, she's standing in front of the mirror like it's a courtroom, judging every line, every curve, every trace of time that's dared to touch her. She's restless now. Her eyes don't look at you, they look through you. She's buying new clothes, experimenting with her hair, posting pictures online she never would have 5 years ago. And you're left wondering, what changed? What flipped the switch inside the woman who once found peace in your arms and now finds excitement in being noticed by strangers? You tell yourself it's harmless, just a phase, a little self-esteem boost. But deep down, something feels off. There's a distance you can't measure, a coldness you can't explain. It's not anger, it's absence. She's there, but her mind's somewhere else, somewhere younger, freer, more desired. And the truth you don't want to face is this: it's not you she's turning away from. It's time. Every birthday candle feels like a countdown. Every reflection whispers, "You're disappearing." What's happening isn't random. It's biological, psychological, and cultural, a perfect storm that hits right around 40. It's the moment a woman realizes the currency she's been using her whole life: beauty, youth, desirability, is starting to lose its value. And when that truth collides with the dopamine-dripped fantasy world of modern validation, it creates chaos. This is the crisis that no one wants to talk about, the identity collapse hidden behind glowing selfies and self-love quotes. The transformation that turns the woman you married into someone you barely recognize. And it's happening everywhere. Every woman knows about the biological clock, the one that ticks for babies. But there's another one far more dangerous that no one ever talks about. It's not about fertility. It's about value. From adolescence, a woman's brain is wired to connect beauty with identity. Every compliment, every stare, every "you look amazing" becomes a small hit of dopamine, the brain's own currency of worth. For 2 decades, that system runs perfectly. She's desired, admired, validated. The world mirrors back to her that she matters. Then one morning, the mirror stops cooperating. The hormones shift. Estrogen, the very fuel that amplifies mood, energy, and glow, begins to wane. The dopamine receptors that once fired from every bit of attention grow numb. The same husband, the same house, the same life, suddenly they feel gray, dull, routine. What she once called comfort now feels like confinement. Her biology is betraying her. You can't see it, but inside her brain, it's chaos. The chemical symphony that once rewarded stability now demands novelty. Her nervous system starts craving stimulation, new experiences, new attention, new proof that she still matters. It's not a conscious decision. It's survival instinct misfiring in a modern world. She's not evil, she's scared. Scared of fading. Scared of being unseen. Scared that the power she held for half her life is slipping away. But here's the cruel twist. Instead of helping her accept this transition, society throws her gasoline. It tells her she deserves more, that if she feels empty, it must be your fault, that her unhappiness is proof she's been living for others. And that whisper, repeated through social media, friends, and therapists, starts to sound like liberation. But it isn't freedom, it's panic dressed as empowerment. From the moment a girl can understand words, the world teaches her one thing: be beautiful. Compliments become her currency. Attention becomes her oxygen. And for most of her life, that system works flawlessly. The world looks back at her with approval. Men chase her. Women envy her. She walks through life with an invisible crown built from glances, likes, and praise. But what happens when the crown slips? When the world stops clapping and silence takes its place? At 40, she starts to feel that silence. It's subtle at first. Fewer compliments, fewer stares, more polite smiles. The same looks that once followed her across the room now pass over her like she's invisible. And that silence terrifies her. Because it's not just about beauty fading, it's about identity dissolving. Her worth, her confidence, her entire sense of self were built on being seen. Now she feels unseen, and that's a kind of death the modern woman has never been taught to face. This is where the trap closes. She turns to the only thing that once worked: external validation. But now she has to chase it. New outfits, gym selfies, social media, dating apps. Every heart emoji is a microdose of the old high. The thrill of being noticed, even by strangers, momentarily fills the void her husband's steady love can't touch. Because his attention doesn't count anymore. It's expected. It's routine. Her brain wants to be chosen again, and chosen by someone who doesn't have to choose her. That's the cruel psychology at play. What once was effortless now becomes addictive. And every fix she gets, every compliment, every flirtation, every "you still got it," reinforces the same lie, that youth equals value and aging equals death. But that isn't truth. It's programming. A lifetime of conditioning that taught her to measure her worth by reflections and reactions. By the time she realizes she's chasing ghosts, the trap has already sprung. Once that hunger for validation returns, it doesn't stay private for long. The next phase begins when she finds others just like her, women who've already jumped. The newly divorced, the rediscovered themselves crowd. The ones who post wine night photos with captions like, "Here's to freedom." These aren't support groups. They're echo chambers. And every story they tell reinforces her fear that she's missing out. "I never knew how unhappy I was," they say. "I finally started living." Those words hit her like prophecy. These friends don't mean to be destructive, but they are. They offer her a new identity, the heroine of her own reinvention arc. The devoted mother becomes the woman finding herself. The faithful wife becomes the free spirit. Every conversation rebrands rebellion as empowerment. Every complaint about her husband gets repackaged as emotional abuse. Every flicker of guilt gets drowned in phrases like, "You deserve better." It's not advice. It's a drug, and they're the dealers. And the more time she spends with them, the less she recognizes her own reflection. Their voices become her inner monologue. Suddenly, her marriage feels like a cage. Her responsibilities feel like chains. Her husband's predictability feels like oppression. What used to be a safe life now looks like a trap built by her own choices. Social media amplifies it. Her feed fills with glow-ups, transformation stories, starting over at 40 influencers who look euphoric in their curated chaos. It's digital hypnosis. Thousands of little messages whispering, "You can still be wanted. You can still be desired." And for a woman in crisis, that's irresistible. She doesn't realize it yet, but her rebellion isn't against her husband, it's against reality itself. Aging, commitment, responsibility, mortality, and every post she likes, every "You go girl" she reads, pushes her one step closer to detonating the life she built. The mirror used to be her friend. Now it's a judge. Every morning, she studies her reflection like it's evidence in a trial, searching for proof that she's still desirable, still relevant, still seen. But the mirror is cruelly honest, and the algorithm is even worse. One shows her the truth. The other shows her the fantasy. Together, they tear her apart. Her phone becomes a portal into an alternate universe where women her age are radiant, wild, reborn. Age is just a number, the captions say, next to filtered photos that erase every line of reality. She scrolls for hours, absorbing stories of transformation, women leaving marriages, starting new lives, falling in love again. Each one feeds the same delusion: I can start over too. The algorithm learns her pain. It listens. It feeds her videos that say her unhappiness isn't natural. It's a sign she's outgrown her life. Meanwhile, her reflection grows more unbearable. She's not just seeing wrinkles, she's seeing lost time. She compares who she is now to who she used to be, and every difference feels like a betrayal. The irony is, she's not aging poorly. She's aging normally, but normal doesn't sell. The digital world worships transformation, not acceptance. It glorifies the woman who burns her past for a dopamine high. So she becomes two people, the one in the mirror and the one online. One fading, one filtered. One grounded in reality, the other living in fantasy. And with each post, each like, each subtle hit of attention, the fantasy starts winning. Her brain begins to believe the algorithm's version of her, not the one standing in the quiet kitchen beside a husband who loves her. And that's when the danger peaks. Because once fantasy feels more rewarding than reality, she starts resenting reality itself. She resents the safety, the routine, the love, not because it's bad, but because it's real. It never happens overnight. It starts small, a sigh during dinner, a distracted look when you talk, a phone she doesn't put down anymore. She says she's just tired, just busy, but something's changed. She's quieter, colder, lighter in your arms. You can feel her slipping, but you can't prove it. Because what's leaving isn't her body, it's her soul. This is the stage where most men lose their footing. They sense something's wrong, but they rationalize it away. She's just stressed. Work's been heavy. She needs space. And maybe that's true, but space becomes distance, and distance becomes detachment. She's creating emotional oxygen, not to breathe easier with you, but to breathe without you. Her moods become unpredictable. Some days, she's sharp and combative, picking fights over things that never mattered. Other days, she's eerily calm, like she's made peace with a secret. The first type is building a justification. She's rewriting the story so leaving you makes sense. The second type is managing guilt. She's already made her choice but hasn't told you yet. Either way, the connection that once felt natural now feels forced. Every "I love you" echoes like a memory instead of a truth. Meanwhile, she's investing her energy elsewhere. New clothes, new friends, new hobbies. Every piece of her life starts orbiting away from you. She says she needs me time, but me is slowly replacing we. You start feeling like a guest in your own home, watching someone rehearse for a life you're no longer in. By the time you realize what's happening, it's too late to talk her back. Because you're not fighting another man, you're fighting the fantasy of who she thinks she should have been. And you can't win against an idea. You can only watch as the woman who once needed you starts craving something. You can't give her anymore. The thrill of being new again. When she finally walks away, the world cheers. Her friends post champagne emojis, calling her brave. The therapist tells her she's honoring her truth. The internet calls it empowerment. But what comes after isn't liberation. It's the silence she never prepared for. The thrill fades fast. The attention that once felt intoxicating becomes temporary and hollow. The new man who promised excitement eventually stops chasing. The novelty wears off, and the mirror she tried to escape still waits for her every morning. Only now it reflects the cost. The house is quieter than she imagined. The kids split their time between homes, their laughter diluted by distance. Holidays become rotations. The man who once built his world around her now speaks to her through lawyers. She scrolls through her phone, watching old memories she used to call routine and realizing they were peace. But peace doesn't trend online. Regret doesn't go viral. And no one claps for the woman who admits she made a mistake. The same society that pushed her to find herself is nowhere to be found when the adventure ends. The divorced friends she envied are back on dating apps, hunting for the same validation that ruined them. The empowerment slogans that once fueled her rebellion now sound like lies told by people who want a company in their chaos. And in that quiet, in that aching, sleepless quiet, she finally faces the truth she ran from. It wasn't her marriage that made her miserable. It was time, it was fear. It was the belief that youth and worth are the same thing. The tragedy isn't that she left you. The tragedy is that she spent the rest of her life realizing she didn't have to. In the end, it was never about love or even about marriage. It was about meaning. The world taught her that meaning comes from being wanted, not from being known. That happiness is a feeling, not a foundation. And when the feelings faded, as they always do, she mistook that natural drift for failure. But the truth is far simpler and far crueler. Time always wins. It takes beauty, it takes novelty, it takes the thrill of being new. What it gives in return is wisdom, if you're strong enough to accept it. Most aren't. That's the quiet war every person fights when they grow older. For men, it's the temptation to chase youth through conquest or success. For women, it's the urge to resurrect their reflection in the eyes of others. Both are running from the same enemy, mortality. But no one wins that race. You can stretch your face, buy the car, leave the marriage, chase the thrill, but all you're doing is buying time with denial, and denial always comes with interest. The ones who make peace with aging, who understand that depth replaces excitement and meaning replaces adrenaline, they're the ones who endure. They're the rare few who realize that love isn't supposed to feel like a roller coaster forever. It's supposed to feel like gravity, quiet, invisible, but constant. So when you see a woman on the edge of 40 chasing ghosts, don't see evil, see fear. And when you see a man blaming himself for her leaving, tell him the truth. He wasn't competing with another man. He was competing with time, and no one beats time. The only question left is whether you'll grow old fighting it, or grow wise accepting it.